Welcome to Thermal Desktop. This video is intended as a brief introduction to the basic features. I suggest opening Thermal Desktop using a template drawing. You can download a tutorial from our website under Training, Tips and Samples. Select Tutorial, and then scroll down to find the template. You can use this tutorial to create your own template, but for now you can just use the completed version that's included in the zip. Just double-click thermal.dwg to follow along. The first thing you may notice is the number of buttons, which can be overwhelming, but the good news is many of them are duplicates. If your version has buttons along the side, these are the same as those along the thermal ribbons, which are Thermal, Thermal 2, and Fluid. I primarily use the ribbons, but that's just my preference. All of our commands are available from the pull-down menu. You can see the icons located next to some of the commands to help you become familiar with the shortcuts over time. I'm now going to walk through a very simple model creation. I'll just make two nodes, the first by selecting Thermal FD-FEM Network node. The exact location doesn't matter. I'll create the second one by using the ribbon shortcut. To edit a thermal object, select it, and select Thermal Edit. This first node is a boundary node. This means the temperature will remain constant at its initial temperature. To edit the second node, I can just double-click it. This is a diffusion node with a thermal capacitance of 25 joules per C. We'll also need a unique node number, so I'll change that to 2. These nodes are thermally isolated from each other unless I create a conductor. Thermal FD-FEM Network node-to-node conductor. The command line is prompting me for the inputs. It says select the first node and then the second node. To edit this, again, I can just double-click. You can see this is between main 1 and main 2. Main is the submodel, and the node numbers are 1 and 2. This conductor is also in the main submodel. I'm going to give it a value of 5 watts per C. This model won't be very interesting without a heat load or something else to change the temperatures. Thermal FD-FEM Network heat load on nodes. And I'll select my diffusion node. Again, you can see this is applied to main.2, and I'm going to give it a value of 10 watts. Now it's time to run this model, which we do from the Case Set Manager. Thermal Case Set Manager. It's a green circle that looks like a traffic light. There's always a default case setup and it's steady state, but I want to make this transient. So I'll click Edit. I'll uncheck steady state and check transient. Tell it to run for 100 seconds. When I click Run, it will create an input file for Cinda, run Cinda, and bring the results back into Thermal Desktop. The Cinda status window tells me that everything ran successfully, so I'll click OK. Then I'm going to select Zoom Extents, which is a shortcut here, to bring my two nodes into view. Then I just scrolled out with the mouse to make it a little more visible. and I can use 3D Orbit to get a better view. The time shown is at 0 seconds. We can step forward in time to see how it progresses. Next time. At 1 second, 2. The view itself is not changing, but the temperature scale over on the side is. But let's say I want to see how these plot through time. I can select both nodes and launch EasyXY. The boundary node remains at 20C as it should, and the diffusion node heats up to 22C in about 35 or 40 seconds. You can work on the model in the post-processing window if you want, or we can return to the main graphics window by clicking Reset TD to Model Space. You can also switch between the views by selecting Layout to or Model. That's all I want to show you for this simple model. However, there are some other areas I want to introduce so you can know where to get started. We have many videos and tutorials on these topics, so this is just letting you know that the tools are there. Start with our model browser. This is a great tool for sorting through everything in the model. You can leave this open in a separate window to help you sort through all of the parts of your model. It's not that helpful with only 2 nodes, but your models will be far more complex. Symbols are variables within Thermal Desktop. This could include dimensions, power dissipations, contact coefficients, or anything you want to define as a symbol. You can control these through the Symbol Manager. Here I am just creating a symbol to use for a heater. We have several videos on making and using symbols on our website. Material properties are stored in external files, so they are easy to share between models. There's one for the thermophysical properties and another for optical properties. You can open different databases and edit them within Thermal Desktop. The user preferences include setting units and what type of objects are visible in the model at any given time. Of course, a few models will be made with just nodes. More commonly, you will use surfaces and solids. As models get complex, you'll want to use our tools under Model Checks to ensure they are configured the way you intended. If you are using RadCAD, you may be interested in orbits. These orbit definitions include spacecraft, of course, but also anything on the surface or in the atmosphere that receives environmental heating. If you are working with FlowCAD, all of our fluid modeling tools are included here.
So where do you go from here? I suggest starting with our website, crtech.com. You will need to sign up if you have not already done so, but fear not, we won't spam you. Occasionally, we will send out a newsletter about updates, new sample models, webinars, and training opportunities. I briefly mentioned the tutorials at the beginning of this video. You can find the tutorials under Support, Tips and Samples. These tutorials are step-by-step instructions to help you get familiar with various tools in Thermal Desktop, RadCAD, FlowCAD, and TD Direct. These tutorials are the best way for you to get familiar with the software while working on your own. Our product manuals are installed with Thermal Desktop and are available on our website. These manuals provide detailed information that will be essential to understanding how the software works. We also have recorded videos under Training, Recorded Videos. Some have audio like this one, and some are completely silent. These videos include the full product training for both FlowCAD and TD Direct, as well as many shorter topics. You will also find application pages and a forum where you'll see all sorts of information to help you with your specific modeling needs. Product training is the best way to get up to speed on our software. We offer the training online or in person. If you have several people at one location who need training, we can travel.
And of course, you can always contact us for help. You can submit a question from the software itself, on our website, or emails at support@crtech.com. Thanks for watching.